Welcome in to the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DNVR when you sign up for a new account to get amazing odds boosts every single day. The whole gang here, we said, screw it. We're gonna bring all five of us on since we're at home and all of us are sick. So that's what we went with.
Rudo, you need to change your name to Sexy Rudo with that voice, just a little bit deeper.
It's
a little
not,
bit of rasp in it.
No, see, my wife likes it even more gravelly than this. I really got to be like almost losing my voice to get the sexy voice going. It's not quite
you gotta get the Sudafed going. That's how you avoid the in-between voice. Just dry you up in there.
Oh, God, the worst. not what I want.
Not a Sudafed guy?
No.
Dude,
NyQuil
I couldn't get to the
all
Sudafed
day.
fast enough this morning.
NyQuil is my, or DayQuil, whatever. That's my go-to. Anyway.
Sudafed and Advil like they're M&Ms, dude.
Advil hard, yeah. I'm in on the Advil for sure. But anyway, our sickness probably less disappointing to Avs fans than the fact that Cale Makar is the next man added to the injury list today. Jared Bednar, as per usual, extremely coy about what the injury is and how impactful it is, and really any information on it other than Cale Makar being hurt. In the immediate, that means Devon Toews will take PP1 time. The Avs lineup includes Jacob McDonald as they will run 11-7 again. How are y'all feeling about a Cale Makarless Avs chances against Calgary?
Worse.
No one's going to say better. I mean, when you're looking at a defense that's already been decimated by injuries, this definitely does not help out. Losing your top defenseman is just never a good thing. Does anyone know what the lineup even looks like from the defensive, like what the pairings are going to be right now?
Top pairing is Taves Johnson, then it's Gerard Hunt, then McDermott, McDonald, and Englund is the seventh guy.
What was this, 2009? Jeez.
Dude, it feels that way.
Not great.
Wow. Rudo, I can't stop staring at your background. That's literally all I can look at.
You're welcome.
Is that supposed to be that they just keep coming? The
The
injuries just another wave of injuries.
Wave after wave.
Yeah, that's how.
It's what it feels like. I don't know. I just find looping videos that are reasonably long to throw back there. So
fair. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, in addition to the defense, like those pairings are rough. So much of this Avs identity is defenseman being able to transition the puck quickly up ice, low to high with threatening shots coming from the point. You're going to have to get some different looks tonight than what you normally get because that defense is just not built to do what the Avs want them to.
Gonna have to be a lot more cycle play,
Yeah,
or score off transition.
let me ask you this, Megan: is it Devon Toews' time to shine, or is it Devon Toews' time to hopefully get the Avs to survive?
My internet has been horrible, so hopefully you can hear me okay. But I think it is Devon Toews' time to survive. I am really looking to the Avs playing such a smart game up front that they mitigate as much time in their own end as possible. I think it's going to be a lot simpler of a game, a low-event game that relies upon the forward group closing out guys early and making simple decisions in the offensive zone that eliminate risk of odd man rushes on the attack the other way. And so as a result, I'm anticipating lower event hockey that is relying on the defensive core a little bit less tonight. And for that reason, I think that it is going to be a little less entertaining in the offensive zone, but I think the Avs just have to play a smart game there, and that's going to come down to their forward group.
You definitely need the forward supporting on every shift tonight. No lazy back checks, that's for sure. Not in tonight's game, but in good news on that front. Josh Manson was a full participant in practice today, so there likely is at least a little bit of help coming there. And officially, Makar is listed as day today, so
His Bednar's
yeah.
exchange with Bennett cracked me up. Is it something that could be worry you long term? We'll see. Is it upper or lower? Somewhere in there. I as annoying as that normally is, I actually do find that pretty funny.
I think it's annoying. And I just, with the rise of sports betting, I'm surprised that the NHL is allowed to continue to get away with this. But
Same. Hard agree. It's got to stop. Not the main topic of today, though. Obviously, that is looking at the Avs D and hoping for the best. And I think the best answer is, as many people in chat are eating up the meme at this point. Do Avs need Unga Bunga goals like they got against Detroit? Don't worry about it. I did a whole thing with my review video.
yeah, obviously, I think you would love to outscore your problems. But with Georgiev at net, with your defense being what it is, I think the Avs. It's hard to say I want the Avs to lock it down and play a really tight checking game, but I don't think that they can be as wide open and take nearly as many chances as we see them normally do. You are missing half of your defense now, and half of your top pair is gone, and arguably it's the more dynamic of the two. Playing to the personnel that you have, I think it would be prudent for them to just play a very smart, controlled, safe game.
So not Unga Bunga at all.
No. Not without Cale Makar. With Cale Makar, go crazy.
Fair enough. Let me ask the rest of you then. What's the magic number? Are we playing in a race to 3 league here? Do they need 4? Is 2 enough?
I mean, I actually think that you're in somewhat of a situation where not the lower scoring, the better, but like you're going to need your team defense to make up for Cale Makar not being there. So, like, to me, like, I am saying, yeah, maybe you need to do pull out a 2-1, 3-1 with an empty netter type of night.
I'm going high scoring. I'm going 5-3.
You're just opening it up fully, eh?
Yeah, with the Avs, huh? And it's going to be like, this is kind of like, what we talk about, one of those trap games for Calgary. On the other side, they're probably like, this is a trap game, isn't it? Like, Cale Makar's injured. They're going to let their guard down a little bit. But you still have the Avs' top 2 lines to deal with. So, yes, you're down a very dynamic offensive weapon in a D-man. But that's not going to stop the Avs from getting their chances. It's really going to come down to how well Georgiev's going to play, because Calgary is going to get their chances in front of the net tonight. There's this, nothing you're going to do about it. You talk about those defensive pairings. It's going to be hard for the Avs to, shut down their defensive zone. So if they're going to win, it's going to have to be in a wide open game.
I bring this up because we saw Francouz the last 2 games obviously get fantastic goal support. Georgiev over the long stretch before that, it was a little all over the place. You saw a lot of games where the Avs struggled to get to 3. Now they still won a handful of those games. And funnily enough, in both the games they got to 4 with Georgiev and net over that 12-game, 14-game stretch that he played, they lost both of those. So the question is, would you rather have the Avs giving Georgiev the goal support tonight, or would you rather have Georgiev steal them a game? Now, I know you want to say both. You're not allowed. You got to pick one.
It's the goal support. That question is essentially, would you like to score more or less goals?
I don't think that's necessarily true.
I don't care which one happens as long as they get 2 points.
Because
I have
of
no
their
preference. Sorry, go ahead, Megan.
Because of their goal scoring woes before the last two games, I also am in favor of goal support. But I also don't want the opposite to be true, wherein Georgiev completely falls apart, because I am counting on this being a confidence-building game. After Francouz got the last two starts, or three, I'd like to see Georgiev get right in this game too. So I don't necessarily anticipate him stealing a game. He is going to need goal support. It was, like you mentioned, something that was lacking at times in the team in front of him before. So I'm looking to this game to be a confidence-building one for him.
Do you think he needs one of those? Do you think Georgiev needs to get right?
I do.
Really? Everyone nodding their head? I think he's fine.
I'm not disappointed in Georgiev's performances, but I think his confidence has been harmed. I think that clarification is important. I think he has actually played well, but the team in front of him has struggled. And I think that's hard for a goaltender to walk away without carrying some of that burden on his shoulders. And then he doesn't get the last few starts. I think this is important for his confidence.
I agree.
Yeah. It's kind of, Jesse, it's kind of like a QB, right? Like, he's been playing well. It's just like he hasn't been getting that support, but it always goes back to the goaltender when goals are being scored, right? Like, even though you know it's not all on him. Yeah. So
that's why it's one of the toughest positions in pro sports. There's literally zero help to cover things up, to cover up mistakes. I don't know. Me personally, I think he's in a good spot. I think he's feeling good. I think he started 12 straight games. I don't think the plan was to give Frankie 3 in a row, but he gets the shutout. I don't know. I think he's feeling good. Now watch him get lit up in this game, and it's like, oh, maybe he's not feeling good. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, a good game is never bad for a goalie, right?
The Flames are the epitome of mediocre this year. A win tonight, if the Avs can do it in regulation, would give them a higher points percentage than Calgary. They'd be 2 points back still, but they have 3 games in hand currently, I believe. So a pretty significant number of points on the table for the Avs there. And would put them...
Regardless of how the season ends, is Florida and Calgary struggling like the least surprising thing of all time for everyone? It's like
Calgary struggles have surprised me a lot more than Florida's have. But, yeah.
I just because I think we all even talked about it on one of the preseason shows where like both those teams had their cores completely uprooted, and everyone was like, they'll jump right back in. It's like, I don't know, there's some Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk leaving. Like those were your 2 leaders in the room. A year after you lose Giordano, I had a feeling that it was going to take them a while to settle in. And then wouldn't you imagine Nazem Kadri not on a 90-point pace? Who could have predicted this?
That part definitely predictable.
Huberdeau getting hurt didn't help Calgary.
Does not help either.
Mackenzie Weegar's lack of offense is rough for Calgary.
It's Mackenzie Weegar having the same point totals essentially as Nikita Zadorov is not what they traded for.
Yeah.
Well, hey, at least they signed Kadri, Huberdeau, and Weegar to all 8-year, and 7-year, right? So these, if it doesn't work out,
got another year to try.
Yeah, run it back a bit.
Toffoli, on the other hand, is having a great year. I mean, he's looking like he might match one of his years from 9-8 years prior. So
I think it also really hurts them that Andrew Mangiapane's gone from a guy who had 35 goals last year to a guy who has 9. Now his shooting percentage has literally been cut in half. But the fact that he shot 19 and 18% the last 2 years, he's under 10% this year. Like, well, this is tough.
I feel like they kind of run into the same problem that Carolina has. Who's the guy on that team? Are you really looking at it's crunch time and you're going with Elias Lindholm?
The way he's paid, it's supposed to be Nazem Kadri. That was why we all thought that was such a weird choice. The contract they gave Nazem Kadri was, you are the guy. And what his entire career has proven, part of the reason he was so great in Colorado is because he didn't have to be. But to answer your question, Rudo, like I don't know if they have one.
Yeah. You are a guy doesn't sound as good as you are the
Right. It's not that Nazem Kadri's bad, but it's just he thrived in Colorado because he got to slot in behind Nathan McKinnon. And
I mean, look, I guess maybe they thought they were getting the guy in Huberdeau, but I think that regression offensively should surprise no one.
Yeah.
They took two very good players, neither of whom had to be, the guy who carried the offensive load for their previous teams, and they thought, 4 + 4 would equal 10. It's like, nope, 8, close. You're close, but not quite there. And
I mean, Jonathan Huberdeau had 115 points last year. Like, he was really, 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 really good. His goal scoring is down. His shot generation is way down. And his assists are down. I mean, there was a lot of underlyings with Huberdeau last year that said, this is not going to be real, but watching him crater, because he's been a point per game guy for 5 years now, 4 or 5 years. Like, they're watching him crater like this, I think is a really big surprise.
It's not great for Calgary right now, which has me thinking Blaze probably tried to take advantage of that with his bets. He already said he thinks it's going to be high scoring, so we know where that's going. But where's the rest of it?
Yep. Are we pulling up bets? Here we go. Yeah, I'm going with a bang here with the Erod anytime goal at +295. I think it's time. It's been playing good.
Hot, yeah.
Taves over a half point with Makar not being in the lineup. That's your dude. So he just needs 1 point, -110. Let's go. And then Miko with a half of a power play point. Come on, +115. Sure, all day long.
You could literally hit all 3 of these bets on one play.
I had like 8 or 9 queued up, and these are the 3 I went with. So.
Hey, thanks for getting us all sick too, Blaze, by the way. Thank you. Appreciate that, dude.
No, I stayed away, even though somebody on Twitter was giving me a hard time. And then
for like 3 weeks. He's like, I still got the sniffies. Sorry, can't make it in. Can you believe it? An 8 p.m. puck drop, and I'm still just not quite feeling ready.
Well,
and then the next day, he's like, heading out of town for vacation with the fam. Here at the airport, I wasn't feeling well enough to be there last night, but I guess I'll get all these airport people sick.
You got your facts so wrong, Jesse. It was work related. I wasn't going with my family.
Well, wherever you're going, try to make some money with DraftKings doing it. But make sure you're 21 or over. Other terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. See the show notes down below for details. And of course, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Okay. My voice has barely made it through this 20-minute pregame show, so that's definitely a good sign for postgame. Very excited for that. No watch along, given that I'm still sick. Sorry, chat. Can't please you always, but I promise the watch alongs will be back soon. They'll be back soon. We will have postgame no matter what, breaking down whatever this game ends up being, whether the Avs get 80 more injuries or they blow out this team 8-0. Who's to say?
Not great vibes on this pod, I tell you.
I know. Can we all agree that Kadri is going to get a point tonight?
Yes.
He's probably going to get a hat trick.
All right. We're going to wrap up this pregame. Hope y'all enjoyed our low energy pod. I don't know what else to call it. We will be back after the game.